is it? Now to my two most beautiful books that I've added to my collection. Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Krystal and you're watching Bon Book Reviews. Today I'm going to show you my awesome book haul. For those of you who don't know, this year, in the year of 2020, I decided to go on a book buying ban because I had over 200 unread books on my shelf. You heard that correctly.
200 unread books.
So I decided for a whole 365 days I was not going to buy any new books. Subclause, I was allowed to purchase books if it was from a voucher, if I won them in a giveaway, or if they were gifted to me. So I was able to still add books to my collection, but I myself wasn't allowed to purchase them. Turns out that when you're on a book buying ban, a lot of people are
really generous
and luck turns to your side. So I won a lot of giveaways this year so far, and my boss has been quite generous and gave me a voucher. Both were $250. So I was able to spoil myself a lot for my birthday with a bunch of books, and I had some leftover money on those vouchers, so I decided to spoil myself when I was at home visiting my family because the local bookstore was having a huge sale. So I'm going to show you some of the cool things that I got. You can tell me whether you've read them, whether you recommend them, and yeah, let's get started. So let's start with some of the books that people from this beautiful community have sent me, because I think that I need to owe them a thank you first before I show you all the books that I've bought myself. First up with Storm and Fury by Jennifer L. Armentrout. This was kindly sent to me from Leanne at Leanne the Bibliophile. It was a late birthday present, but it finally arrived and I'm so excited. This is on my wish list for a while, so I'm excited to add that onto my collection. I have seen this one all over BookTube and I just had to pick it up. It was recommended to me if you're a fan of ACOTAR, and I really loved that series, so I figured why not. I was kindly gifted Beartown by Frederick Bachman by the lovely Larissa. She is For the Love of Wine and Books on Instagram, and she is a Newcastle local. And her and I have actually met in person. Thanks to Bookstagram, I've been able to meet her. I did a gift swap for the month of October and she was my buddy. So she sent me this along with a book weight, which I have wanted for
so long.
I'm so excited to be able to read while I eat. Anyone who's a reader understands the struggle when you are trying to read a book and it just keeps flopping closed. I no longer have that problem because she sent me a book weight as well. So I have been using that every day, like without fail every day. So 100% recommend you get one of those. Now let's dive into some of the awesome collection of books that I decided to buy myself. Some are from my wish list, some I've bought so that I have them to read in Gav's Believe-a-thon Readathon, which is in November. For those of you that don't know, I'll link the announcement video below and keep an eye out for my TBR for that one. The Percy Jackson series, the entire box set was $24. I could not say no because I wanted to read the first one for that Believe-a-thon Readathon anyways. So I figured, why not get the whole box set? I've heard nothing but great things about the Percy Jackson series. I haven't really read a lot that involves folklore, but I know that Ashley at Frolic Through Fiction raves about books with folklore in them, so I feel like maybe I'll love it, I don't know. So previously in the year, I've read Nevermoor and Wondersmith by Jessica Townsend. She's an Australian author. Absolutely loved this series, but I didn't actually own it. I borrowed them from the library. And I walked into the bookstore and they were $10 each, along with the new Holopox, which was also $10, which I haven't read. So I decided to get the whole collection just so I can read Holopox and have the other two. Holopox was meant to come out on my birthday, but unfortunately it was pushed back. So now I finally have all three books on my shelf. They're gonna look so good. And I'm so keen to dive into Holopox. I'll also probably be reading that for Gav's Readathon. I don't know, I just wanted to get it as an option because it is a middle grade story. Those of you that have watched my vlog, you would have seen that after Friday morning breakfast on our way up to Jirowa, I did stop in the bookstore to use the last of my voucher as well, and I got 3 books that were from the clearance rack, which was Seventh Born by Monica Sands. This is also another Gav made me do it. Let's just say he's a big influencer in my reading because everything he reads, he just makes sound so interesting. Second, I saw that he'd given this 5 stars and it was on the clearance rack. I couldn't walk away. What can I say? I'm like most book people. I also got Crown of Feathers by Nikki Palprito, which, have you seen that cover? I knew nothing about this. All I know is it's the first in a series, that cover is beautiful, and I wanted it on my shelf. The last one that I picked up at that same bookstore was Other Words for Smoke with the beautiful pink sprayed edges. It is my first book with sprayed edges, and I'm so excited because they're pretty rare here in Australia. Like you get them in kind of book boxes, or if you special order them and things like that, but you don't see them just floating around in the bookstore very often. When I saw this, I'm not gonna lie, I bought it because it had sprayed edges, but I read further into what it was about, and it does definitely interest me, so I am excited to add that onto my collection as well. This to me sounds like a coming of age story with a little bit of a fantasy twist in it. It had pretty good ratings on Goodreads, so I figured why not give it a shot, and again, couldn't say no to those sprayed edges. Where is it? The joys of moving to a new house, you redo your shelf and you're like, where did I put that book? Weave World, here it is. So my dad is a huge Clive Barker fan, and he convinced me to get Weave World from a secondhand bookshop like a couple of years, maybe like a year ago. Still haven't read it, sorry Dad. But he said that I also have to try Galilee. Yeah, Galilee. He has read this 4 times, this is his copy, and he said I have to add it to my collection and read it. So I've got 2 big chunkers from Clive Barker that I have to also read as well. Now to my 2 most beautiful books that I've added to my collection. One I'm really stoked to read, and the other I purchased purely because I couldn't walk away from how beautiful this cover is. Although it's a middle grade and it sounds really exciting, I'm being honest with you, I bought it
100% because of the cover.
So the first one that I got, which I was so stoked for, is Wonder by R.J. Palacio. I'm sorry. It is hardcover, it is beautiful, it is the entire collection. It's just, I've heard nothing but great things about this book. Also, again, from Gav, I swear I get recommendations from people other than Gavin. So excited to add this one. It's going to look beautiful on my shelf. It's going to be an amazing read. I think I'm going to need tissues nearby. All I know about this is that Gavin said to read it, and then it's going to make me cry. I'm sold. And last, but definitely not least, is the grandest bookshop in the world. I don't know how I'm going to make this look beautiful without my light hitting it, but it's got rainbow, it's got gold, it's got this most beautiful spine in the world. It's just beautiful. I just love everything about it. And it follows the story of Pearl and Valley, who are 2 children who live in a bookshop. So that is my new book haul for my trip down to Eden. I'm sorry I didn't tell you anything about these books. I'm just too excited to show them to you. So I will have all of the books mentioned linked down below so you can go check them out for yourself and find out if they're your kind of read. And until next time, happy reading!